Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nate the Effin' Great, and of course, we are always available on Spreaker.com, iTunes, Player.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, TuneIn Radio, IW Nerd, Satchel Podcast Player, and Mr. NTG 1990. Will I ever change his name? Not on your life, Spencer. So, I'm starting off to do this new series where I talk a lot about movies and some things that I have seen. And I'm actually going to do a movie review segment here. So, name is still in the works right now. Will it be like a brand new branch-off series like what Max Beatty does on his YouTube channel? Not necessarily. This is kind of more my viewpoints. But we'll see how this goes. Let me know what you guys think in the amount of views that you give me, as well as the amount of likes, comments, stuff that you have. So, going to be covering Doctor Strange. Now, honestly, you guys, I did not know who Doctor Strange was going into this. I knew it was another Marvel-based movie, which is always great because I love Stan Lee and his creations. And this was just another one of those movies that I thought, okay, I have to sit, watch, and see. For those of you that do not know, Doctor Strange actually came out this past week, November. Actually, it was last week that it came out. And ever since it came out last week, it has actually grown and had a gross amount of $350.7 million. So it is very, very financially successful, and it has had nothing but positive reviews. Well, except for a couple other random people that are always got to be jaded. They always got to get attention somehow. So there's always those people that are going to say, like, yeah, I saw that movie. It sucked. Oh, but come on, there was that one scene where it was like, nope, it sucked. Oh, but come on, the storyline, nope, it sucked. It had Rachel McAdams in it. Nope, sucked. She sucked in The Notebook, and she sucked in this one. And no, she did not, for those of you that are curious about that. So, basically what I'm going to go through here is the review of how I felt about the movie, and also going through a bit of the storyline. So for those of you that have not seen it, you definitely probably don't want to listen to this because spoilers are inevitable here. So let me just put that right now. If you haven't seen it, do not watch it yet. So, alright. The origins were really good, building up into it. First couple of minutes were basically talking about I think it was, man, I gotta get my notes in here. Here we go. About the sorcerer Caecilius, hopefully I said that name right, and his zealots. They entered in and they stole a page from one of the books at the Kamartai and murdered the librarian that was there. But also they were being chased by the Ancient One. I think it's Mordo? Where do I try to remember? Yeah, Mordo, so. Sorry. This started off as a really interesting sequence, and I will say, for those of you that have not seen this movie, if you guys ever took drugs, I would not take drugs while you're watching this movie, because all honesty, this is basically a trippage mania here, because everything that they did, holy cow, there was a lot of amazing lighting effects. The CGI animation was amazing. It basically felt like you were looking at a kaleidoscope sometimes, and you see all these random colors, and you see all these random structures just looking like stairwells and everything like that. It was just crazy. And that is basically how they really started off, but unfortunately, Caecilius and the Zealots basically got away, and the Ancient One realizes that she needs a little bit of help. Cue in Doctor Strange, which I would like to state, I did not know that when he had the name of Doctor Strange that he was actually a doctor, also a neurosurgeon, and he was the best neurosurgeon on basically the face of the earth, apparently. And you get to know what Doctor Strange is kind of like. You also get the introduction of Christine, who was former lover / co-worker. Yeah, it's really weird. But it also evolves into how you see Doctor Strange's stubbornness really comes into play, and that's where his Achilles heel really takes hold. Because here's what basically happens with him. Like a lot of great superhero stories, there's always one major pivotal moment that really changes their life forever. And unfortunately for him, it was because of the fact that he was texting and driving. And yeah, apparently he didn't read or watch the Don't Text and Drive video movie that has been going out for like years now. Unless, of course, this is set back like not like early times, something like that. Either way. So he loses all control of his hands. He's not able to use his hands in order to do his neurosurgeon duties anymore. And all throughout the beginning of this movie, he's trying to find ways to gain back movement in his hand. He's going through physical therapy. He's thinking of other surgeries that could actually help him. And everything that he's done, he's just saying, I want this done now. I want this. I want to be better now. I want to be this now. Now. And all that happens is that the anger just festers and it builds up into him, and he actually takes it out not only on so many other people, including Christine, but he kind of takes it out on himself because he wants to have his perfect life again. But then he finds out about a patient named, trying to remember his name, it was Jonathan, I thought I had that, I don't know. See, I honestly thought I had the, here we go, Jonathan Pangborn, who apparently was paraplegic, but he was able to find a way to walk again after a trip to Nepal, in which, of course, Doctor Strange goes and finds this trip to Nepal, and he finds out about the Karmata, in which he talks to the Ancient One, and he's basically shown how, sorcery and magic works, everything like that. And Doctor Strange actually says to the Ancient One, he says, teach me how to use it. In which the Ancient One just replies, no, and just tosses him out. 5 hours later of just banging on the door saying, I want to know, she lets him back in. And he still has that stubbornness to him, but at the same time, he's got to realize that he had to be more patient, which is really cool to see this kind of slow shift and change in the behavior and the attitude of Doctor Strange. I think that's one of the things that really stands out when it comes to this movie, is that he came from being this really stubborn and very impatient person to now being very zen, very focused, and very patient. Well, I think I said patient already, with everything, and let it kind of naturally flow. So the training really takes its toll on Doctor Strange, but the Ancient One believes that he can still find a way to work it. She even goes as far as to take him to Mount Everest and says, well, you might have only about 2 minutes to survive here, so I would suggest, you try to get off this mountain while you can. Leaves him there to just make this portal where he can go back to his, back to the Kamarta, I should say. I apologize for any Marvel fans that I might offend with the mispronunciation of everything. So he finds a way to come back, and he also soon finds himself getting involved with the Zealots as well as Caecilius, where he battles against them because there are actually 3 different sanctums that are basically protecting the earth from Caecilius and the Zealots' master, that being Dormammu. So without those 3 sanctums, Dormammu would be able to find a way to get back, come into the real world, or down to earth, and rule everything. you kind of see where this is going. So basically that's what's kind of evolving with this, is that Doctor Strange battles with these Zealots and Caecilius, and unfortunately he's not able to overcome the odds, and all three sanctums are fortunately broken. Now during this time, Doctor Strange is really starting to find himself, and he's able to really reconnect a bit with Christine and have a better, more appreciation for all the things that she did for him, and really find this inner peace that he was slowly finding. Now, unfortunately, during a battle with Caecilius and the Ancient One is unfortunately killed, and there's this part where they are both in spirit, and they both go into like this ever futuristic deal where the Ancient One says that there's so many times where she sees this, and now she realizes that she can't stop it. And Doctor Strange says, there is a way that we can stop it, but I can't do it without you. And the Ancient One says, you can do it. You just need to really find that, inner peace, where it's just really something very emotional. It really does kind of set into motion what Doctor Strange was slowly going to become. Basically what happens is the London Sanctum gets destroyed first, and then the New York Sanctum gets destroyed second, and unfortunately the third one in Hong Kong gets destroyed. Now, Dormammu is unfortunately able to come in and take over the world until Doctor Strange comes in. And before he battles with Dormammu, he has this, I'm trying to remember what the... Okay, the Eye of Agamotto, where he's able to control certain parts, really control certain parts of time and space. So what we see from there is that he has this glowing green sorcery deal there, and he comes to Dormammu and he says, I've come to compromise, or I've come to negotiate. I keep forgetting this line here, and Dormammu basically kills off Doctor Strange. But then Doctor Strange comes back and he says, Dormammu, I've come to negotiate. And now Dormammu is just thinking, wait, we just went through this. What's going on? So apparently Doctor Strange was able to create this everlasting, eternal loop where it just happens over and over and over again. Dormammu kills him, Doctor Strange comes back, and he keeps saying the same thing over and over and over and over again until it reaches the point where Dormammu says, alright, fine, what do you want? What do you want? Just make this stop. And Doctor Strange says, I want you to take your Zealots, and I want you to leave, and I want you to never come to Earth again. In which, takes everybody, and they're all gone. Now, one thing that I failed to mention was that there was this new librarian named Wong who really tries to help Doctor Strange really stay focused, but also tries to make sure that he does not get himself into more trouble. And the one key factor about this whole entire thing is that this guy doesn't laugh until the end of the movie. I forget exactly what was the reason why, but this guy just had a straight face throughout the entire thing until the end, where he finally breaks and he finally laughs, and I'm just like, wow, I love this guy. So definitely loved Wong. The assistant to Doctor Strange, I forget what his name was. I'm trying to remember if I can figure out. Trying to figure out where. Oh, okay. No, Mordo was actually the assistant. I'm sorry. So Mordo actually really is a pivotal sidekick, I guess you could say, to Doctor Strange, and he wants to be set in his ways of how he learned these things. And now that things are changing so much, he realizes that this is not the way to do it, and he leaves. Does he come back? I guess we're going to have to wait and see what other Doctor Strange movies they have coming out. Now, the interesting thing that was really rolling through my head, and they showed a little bit of a hint of it when they showed it in the New York area. They showed the Avengers building. And the one main question was, are we going to see Doctor Strange in the Infinity Wars that were actually coming up? And I know a lot of people are saying, like, oh, well, that's an obvious question. Of course he is. I wasn't too sure yet until the end of the movie. Because what happened was, we see Doctor Strange have a sit-down conversation with Thor. And he basically says that he needs help finding his father, Odin. So he needs Doctor Strange's help to break Loki out, bring him to Earth, and find his father. And Doctor Strange says, alright, let's do it. Now there is one other thing that I actually did not get a chance to talk about. In the post-credits scene, Mordo visits Pangborn and steals the energy he uses to walk, stating that the Earth has too many sorcerers. So this kind of answers the question, is he going to be coming back? Yes. But he's not going to be coming back as a good guy. So definitely going to be one of those things that is going to really stand out. I think they're going to have to make another Doctor Strange movie before Infinity Wars comes out. All honesty, you guys, this was a damn good movie. The animations were good. The plotline was great. The character development was phenomenal. Everything connected very well. It just created this massive puzzle that just really was able to fit together piece by piece, and you see the bigger picture, even though there are still a couple pieces that are missing, as in, what's going to happen with Mordo, what's going to happen with the Infinity Wars, how is Doctor Strange going to play into the factor of the Avengers. All this is going to be answered and more as soon as, Marvel continues on. And I do believe that the next Marvel movie is going to be Thor Ragnarok is going to be next year, November, I believe. So there's got to be at least one or two more Marvel movies that will kind of develop a little more of the Avengers going into the Infinity War. So definitely look out for that. But again, guys, I would give this 4 out of 5 stars. This was a really damn good movie. I would recommend it. It has gotten to be a box office household name for this past weekend. And I think that it's going to be another one of those movies that's going to be pretty tough to beat. Although I think Deadpool still has a little bit more of an edge on it. But this is really definitely a good contention going into the next year. So definitely looking forward to seeing how they do, especially with, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok. I know that they have, I think, one other movie coming out next year. Trying to remember. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I thought there was like one more movie coming out. And again, Marvel, Black Widow needs a movie. Start working on that. So that's going to wrap it up again for this edition of, I guess you could call it, Nate Reviews Movies, or Movies Reviewed by Effing Greatness. The name might change, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to review another movie that may have been, that I might need to see, and I'll give you guys my honest opinion about that. I'm going to start doing these more, and I will actually continue to do this a week after these movies have been released, so that way, at least hopefully the majority of people have actually seen it. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and be sure to check out the Squared Circle podcast very soon, because we will actually be hosting round 1 of the Best of 5 series, as well as talking about wrestling throughout the week. So guys, stay tuned. It is going to be awesome. Nate the Effing Great. I will see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.